When you think about fine instruments like violins and violas, you might not think they're crafted here in Nebraska. But reporter Lindsay Thies joins us now to show us how some of those pieces are perfected right here in the heartland. What's that about?
Right here in the heartland, right here in Nebraska, Emily. And it is kind of a little bit of a song and dance to see how these violins, violas, these instruments are made. They're all made by hand and with a big nod to the very first instrument maker.
A few weeks ago, 60 Minutes' Bill Whitaker took us to the small city of Cremona, Italy. That's thought to be the birthplace of the first violins. Today, the pieces made by Antonio Stradivari are worth millions of dollars.
This fiddle is so amazing, I don't have to worry about it.
You call it the perfect violin.
Well, it's the violin of my dreams. You know, if you want to play a pianissimo that is almost inaudible and yet it carries through a hall that seats 3,000 people, there is your Strat.
Here in Omaha, one violin virtuoso is taking that Cremona creativity and intersplicing it with Nebraska nice.
It's all intuitive, the process.
Dr. Alexander Ross started his small violin making business in his basement about 15 years ago after learning restoration. At the time, there was only one violin maker in the state. Today, in his shop alone, there's 4. In Nebraska, there's 7 total. Making the fine instruments is a fine art. One violin takes about 200 hours to make. The average maker finishes only about a dozen per year.
Every single piece of wood has to be handled individually, has to be matched, it has to be put together.
And each piece and process can be different.
How they seal it, what colors they put on top of that, what varnish they put next, and how it soaks into each individual piece of wood.
All affecting that final sound. A sound that's now not just on the Italian stage.
People are communicating worldwide, and a lot of these folks in Cremona, I can get on the phone or Skype them and we talk and we're friends.
But an international one, too.
And that was really cool to kind of get that behind the scenes look and how they make those violins. And the wood itself for those violins are pretty expensive. So none of those that we saw Ross make, those are not Stradivarius. Stradivarius violins are now upwards of like 10, 15, 16 million dollars. But the ones that we saw being made in that shop, I mean, just the wood, the raw wood, can still cost, you know, several $100s to make.
Lindsay, is the wood imported, or is it?
It is, yeah. So it depends in terms of whether it's a maple or whatever type of wood that they're using that really affects the sound of the instrument. Wow. So you can have 2 instruments that are made and they might look exactly the same, but if they're made with different wood, they have a different sound.
Yeah. So. Any Nebraska products go into that violin, or is everything, like Jim said?
A lot of them come from a forest in Bosnia, some in Italy. Yeah, so it's all over.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. And the good thing is now they have time to sit indoors with our snow and just stroll away.
And just practice away.
A lot of folks are singing the blues.
Snow falling. Yeah.
Exactly.
So is that snow going to continue?
No, it's on its way out. But as it leaves.